So today the agenda of our class is, yesterday class we have discussed till this XML parser, and today class we are discussing about XML technologies and document object model. So once we complete this, then the end of our syllabus called as web programming. So the whole XML is the theoretical aspect, but still I given you on some programs, sample programs of creating of an XML file. On this I posted a question on your Google Classroom. Okay, today you'll also get some more questions. We try to give the answers to those questions. So this is as a part of your assignment. So I'll also provide you with the assignment that you need to submit through Google Classroom only. Okay, and you need to write that in your class notes. Sorry, in your assignment notes. So today topic is XML technology. So let us discuss this. So yesterday we have seen what is XML. These things have covered. Okay. So just one thing I would like to share is people are still joining the meeting. So evaluation of XML, it came from SGML. SGML already I told you. So it is an superior language to your HTML. So all the language came from the standard generalized markup language, out of which HTML, XML, everything has been derived. So all this we covered already. XML tree, document structure. So this can be an important question in your examination. What is well-formedness and validity? So yesterday we are given a statement of what is a valid XML is. As well, you are having an well-formedness. Okay, so what is this well-formedness is? So well-formed, it follow the rules of XML specification. So it should be a valid according to its DTD or XML schema. So what do you mean by this? So whatever the DTD rules we are writing, you need to follow the XML according to the DTD rules. So as DTD is not there in your syllabus, so these things may be some more difficult for you to understand. But it's simple, the concept you need to remember this is well-formedness is nothing but if it has a valid XML tags according to DTD or XML schema rules. Okay, so this you need to remember carefully. So now this I will send you this PPD. You can refer this. So difference between XML and HTML has been covered already. So now these are the different XML technologies we do have. Okay, so I just state you what is the individual technologies are. This is again a theoretical concept. Okay, so just you need to remember. Okay, what are different technologies are there? Okay, there is XPath and XPointer, which is for addressing of XML elements and parts of the elements. So how the XML elements can be defined and those rules are there in this XML XPath and XPointer. It is a separate technology. What is XSL? XSL in the previous class I told you that it stands for transforming of XML documents from one language to another language, means from one form to another form. Okay, so XLink, linking between the XML document is called as an XLink. XQuery, like you're having your SQL queries. Similarly, you can also have XML queries. That these all are technologies. Remember carefully. Okay, so you want to read all these technologies to become perfect in your XML. Okay, so there are specifically jobs only for XML developers. Okay, you listen carefully. That this XQuery is a type of querying language. You can able to query on your XML document. Then you have a set of XML document. Then those set of XML document you can make some query. Okay, and this DTD defines a set of rules and regulations that how you need to express your XML. Okay, so this is again one separate technology. Okay, apart from that, you're having a simple API for XML. So this is event-based programming of API for reading of XML document. So what do you mean by this? Like you can create some APIs for accessing of XML. Okay, so this you're already familiar with of document object model. So document object model, it is there in your HTML also. Okay, it is also there in XML. So programming API to access and manipulate XML document as a tree structure now. Okay, so it reads the whole XML as a tree, and accordingly it provides some APIs. Okay, with the help of this API you can able to access. So this DOM can be written in a Java, or it can be in JavaScript. So which is helpful for you to make it like an XML parser. So it provides a set of APIs. So resource description framework. So again, it is an encoding used by the semantic web. So this is all about your technologies which are in XML. Okay, so just you need to remember what individual technologies are, starting with XPath, XPointer, XSL, XLink, XQuery, DTD, and XML schema. Then simple API for XML, SAX, then DOM, document object model, resource description framework. Then for all this, you are having a theory for this, that what is document object model is. So document object model is a language neutral API for accessing and manipulation of XML document as a tree structure. Already I told you this. I've already seen in HTML DOM model. HTML DOM model is nothing but where you're having whole document as an some model, like a tree like model, which you have seen like document dot get element by id, where document is an object. So all it provides are objects. Okay, with the help of this object you are accessing HTML in a very similar manner. With the set of document object model, means with the set of objects you can able to access the XML. Okay, so the entire document must be read and parsed before it can be used by DOM application. So you can have a many DOM applications with which you can able to use this. Okay, so there are two different types of DOM core interfaces for accessing support content type. What is generic node interface and node type specific interface. So this you need to remember as a theoretical aspect. So various DOM parsers are available. So this DOM parsers, one is in Java. So you can see this JDOM in Java. Okay, and you are having different level of DOM levels, we call it as. So DOM level 1 concentrate on HTML and XML document model. So contains functionality for document navigation and manipulation. Okay, so people will ask you how many DOM levels are there. So you need to tell that there are three different types of DOM levels. One is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, level 2 supports only for XML namespaces. So there is a separate topic called as an XML namespaces. When you are having a same type of elements, then how you separate those same type of elements. For example, you are having same name for both the elements. Okay, then there should be some mechanism to separate those two names. So that particular technology is called as an XML namespaces. So DOM2 level support the XML namespaces and style sheets, which we call it as an XSLT. Then if you use those technologies, then that particular thing called it as DOM level 2. And DOM level 3 to have DTD models and schemas. Okay, just those technologies at different levels in DOM called as DOM levels. Okay. And now what is XPath? And similarly you can see the whole theoretical aspect for this, that what is X pointer and all these things. You refer to this and you try to write the notes. So today I'm not going to discuss all these things because this is theoretical aspect. You can learn from this PPT. You try to make a notes about all these technologies, but generally you can able to write 1 or 2 lines about an individual technology, because in your examination the question might be something like this: what are different XML technologies are there? Then you need to refer individual technology. Okay, and you need to make a statement, some 4 or 5 statements about individual technology. Suppose if you consider XPath, then XPath is the expression language to address elements of an XML document, and a location path is a sequence of location steps separated by a slash. So this individual details, like this is an XPath now. It is publications and public, under that you have publication. So this is an hierarchy level of your elements, that how your elements are being specified. It's a hierarchy level. The various navigation access such as child, parent, following, etc. will be separated by a slash. Okay. So you can have an XSLT XPath reference document that can be available on this particular website. Okay. So XPath expressions look similar to the file path names. So because we are this is very similar to like file path, like in C drive you are having a WAMP folder like /WAMP, in that you are having www, means it is a hierarchy level of your path representation. In a very similar manner, XML path is nothing but that element followed by a child followed by a subchild and so on refer to this. So in this publication you're having publications, you're having publication, and this year 2008 is nothing but this is an attribute of this publication. Okay, and similarly you're having a subchild called as a title. So once you refer this, it is easy for you to remember x pointer, points or range in an XML document uses an XPath expression. So this theory part you have to write in your notes on your XML. Similarly, you are having XML linking language and so on. Okay, so XSLT API of SAX. Okay, XML transformation of XSLT language. Okay, then you are having XSLT processor, that what happened in your XSLT, how XSLT is being passed. If you see this diagram, you can able to understand. You input your XML document. Yesterday we created one XML document that is given to a DOM parser. Then the DOM parser will be taking one DTD, and the DTD will make a source tree. Now this source tree is given to XSLT processor along with some style sheet. If you see the inputs over here, this all coming direction towards this is the input to this particular XSLT processor. So XSLT processor has two inputs. One is source tree, another one is a style sheet tree. Okay, when both combines, then you are having a result tree, and this can be an output document. So in the previous class, I told you that for presentation purpose, so XML generally don't have a presentation. Yesterday I given you one task that whatever bookstore we have created, I have sent you that bookstore in your web WhatsApp, and I ask you to open that in a web browser. Okay, once you open that in a web browser, you can see a tree like structure but not a representation. Okay, so but you want to make a representation in a well formed representation in XML, well formed representation in HTML, then you can use this XSLT processor, with the help of which you can able to visualize the content of a XML with any such language. Okay, so these are all the details about your XSLT and these things. Okay, so example, I given you one example yesterday. Okay, and these are XSLT statement. Those who are willing to learn, you can go for this, or otherwise it is just out of syllabus, because XSLT and DTD schemas and all these are out of your syllabus. So just you need to remember that it has only an XSL remote processing, remote procedure calls. These are all are separate technologies. So probably you have to list out only some 7 to 8 technologies what I discussed you. Okay, so you refer to this PPT, and not all the content. No need of this RPC and all these things. And till this XSLT you can refer under this. So you can go with a of 32 up to 32, or yeah, up to 29 you can refer this PPT. Okay, I will share you with this link. And remaining concepts is about document object model. You can refer that there are 3 levels of DOM models: level 1, level 2 and level 3. And what is the importance of DOM? That to parse your document, we use this document object model. So it provides a set of APIs, set of objects, with the help of which you can able to access the XML document. Like unlike we've done in our HTML, to access the HTML page, we are using an we were using our what JavaScript. In the JavaScript, we are using the document object model. Okay, so this is the end of today's class. So if you are having any doubt, you can raise the doubt. And remaining the revision, about the revision, so in your WhatsApp teaching or in your online teaching, I have sent you about these things, working with variables and constants, how variables and data types and operators are done in your PHP. I have sent a document for this. You have to refer and you have to write a programs for this task. Okay. Then controlling the program structure, if conditions, if else, looping statement. Okay, break, continue and exit. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the difference between break, continue and exit? Break, continue and exit in the chat box. Unfortunately, I clicked on some website, so it has been exit the meeting. So now don't leave the meeting. I have to take the attendance, and still I need to. I was just stating you some of the things like what is break, continue, and exit in any programming language. So it can be either in any programming language. What is the difference? Break is nothing but. I'm just waiting for the chat. Now I was stating you that this was our schedule to teach on online. Okay, so break, continue, and exit. This is similar to like other programming languages like C, C++, or you take Java or any other thing. This concept remains the same. So that you remember. Okay, working with functions. I told you how to build the functions. Okay, and how to create your user defined functions. So you can use the keyword called as a function followed by the name of the function in PHP. Then no return type because it is a typeless language or loosely typed language where no need of writing any return types. Okay, so then we are having associative array and indexed array. This is very important topic in your PHP. Okay, most of the questions can be out of this, like differentiate between associative array and indexed array, which you know already that associative array has an string as an index. Okay, whereas index array has an numbers as an index. Okay, so then again I have taken a elaborated session on this, on creating and handling of file. Okay, and file operation. Okay, that is opening, reading, writing and closing of a file. Okay, then handling of directories. In this we have an opening a directories, reading the files from the directories. Okay, like we have seen that reading a files like images from your folder and displaying all the images on your output screen and all those things comes under this files and directories. This is also an important concept. Okay, that what are the operations, what are the functions are available to open a file. Okay, and to write into a file. Okay, then read from a file, what are the functions are available. You have to go through with those concepts. I already send you a material on this, self prepared material. You can refer to this. Okay, and working with forms, web forms and form elements, and processing of a web form. That you have seen the dollar underscore get method, dollar underscore post and dollar underscore request methods are there. So with the help of which you can able to access the data from a PHP form. Okay, or in your from your web form into a PHP. Okay, and validating a web form. So how to validate a web form? So we need to check whether form data is empty or not. That refer to a validating of data. Okay, so this refer to a validating of data. So we have to check whether it is a null or not. So how to check? We have to use a function called as an isSet. We have to check. Okay. Then coming to this fourth unit. So this is just end of your third unit. I also discussed here about accessing of multiple values from form using PHP. Okay, so this was the extra concept what I have been seen. Then database using PHP. This is very simple uh, in PHP. Either you can go with PDO or MySQLi. I demonstrated you both the principles, both PDO and MySQLi. Okay. So here nowhere it has been given in your syllabus that you have to go either with PDO or you have to go with MySQLi approach. So you can go with either the approaches. So either PDO approach or MySQLi approach. Okay. And working with SQL statements. So retrieving the data, adding and altering a table is remained just one program. I send you this program that what is a query for altering a table. You already know that alter table, add column, and you can able to add some columns to your existing table. So that is a query very similar to like your Oracle. You can make the query and you can run that particular program. And similarly, you are having inserting and modifying the data from a table. So what is this modifying the data? Modifying the data is nothing but the update query. Okay, so update query refer here for modifying of data. So you want to update the data which is already there, then you can write a query and you can modify the data. And retrieving the data from a table, which I have been shown you with the help of both PDO and MySQLi approaches. While teaching differences between PDO and MySQLi, I taught you that how you can retrieve a data. So it returns an set of rows, multiple rows in PDO, whereas in, so you can use directly for each and you can access. Whereas in your MySQLi, you need to go with uh, the functions like fetch and fetch all, fetch associate URI, and all those functions are there. So you have to refer those things. So this is just an end of database accessing with PHP, and these are miscellaneous. These are miscellaneous things which are out of your syllabus. Okay, so error handling. How to do error handling in PHP? So you have to go with try and catch block, as we are done in most of the cases in PDO. That error handling can be done using try and catch block. Okay, so for each statement in PHP, I demonstrated you sessions and cookies in PHP. While login page, I told you how sessions and cookies can be created. Okay, for cookie creation, we are having one method called as set cookies, and it takes a different parameters like name, value, path, and all those things. Okay, and whereas sessions, so definitely you need to use one method called as start underscore session. So with the help of which the sessions can be started in your PHP page. Okay, what are super global arrays? Can anyone tell me what are super global arrays are? Super global arrays are nothing but, are you there guys? Only some people are responding. Yeah, Ganesh told that continue skipping a part of a loop. Good. Exit ends the program. Break comes out of a loop. That's really good. Break breaks the loop. Right. Vaitik. Good. Remaining people, what happened? Are you listening to my class or not? If I tell you that post the attendance, then definitely everyone will post in a fraction of second and you leave the meeting. Okay, then what about giving the answers in the chat then? Okay, what is my next question is? The next question is, what are super global arrays in PHP? Super global arrays in PHP. So I told you some of the super global arrays already. There are about 11 super global arrays. So out of which I teach you 5 to 6. Okay, remaining we have not seen like dollar underscore server is there. Okay, some other super global arrays are there, but we didn't taught you. Remaining, I taught you already what are super global arrays are. Yeah, someone told dollar underscore files. Yeah, Srikar, good. Yeah, post, get, post. So you need to remember all those things. You need to remember all the super global arrays. I will list you out. One is dollar underscore get, dollar underscore post, dollar underscore request, then dollar underscore files, then and what are other things? Dollar underscore sessions, dollar underscore cookies. So these 6 I taught you already. Okay, remaining 4 are being left. So that is out of the scope. Okay, so someone given a very good answer for Ganesh given the answer stating that what is super global arrays are. Okay, PHP variable that is available in any scope, means in any of the program you can able to access that particular super global array. Okay, so the scope is throughout the application. Okay, throughout that application the scope is available. Okay, right, good. So this might be a straightforward questions in your examination. You try to understand that what are super global arrays in PHP. Then you need to recall these principles. Okay. So this is a good task, creating a student management system which consists of two modules. One is user module and admin module. User can view the student attendance, marks and details. Admin can able to modify the student, add the marks and all these things. You have to think appropriately the approaches, and you have to have a login page to accomplish this task, because users have to log in with the help of a user. So this user is nothing but is generally a student. So this might be like your CMS. You have to develop it. Okay, this is a task for you. So I will check all these tasks. Okay, whatever the task I have been given you, so this can come straightforward in your examinations. Okay, so you try to practice all these tasks and try to write in your class notes. Okay, and you have to send in your WhatsApp group. So this is before opening, you need to complete all these things, all these tasks. Okay, so any doubt you can raise in this meeting, or I will conduct a special class for clarifying your doubts. You try to take your notes and try to write all the doubts, and you can ask one by one in the chat box, or you can say it in your own voice. Okay. I hope I reach you out through this online classes. Okay, so all of you post your attendance. All of you post your attendance. Don't exit before posting the attendance. All of you post the attendance and you can exit. Okay, this is the end of my class.